Welcome back to another video, everyone. So today I am going to be making homemade English muffins, vegan of course. Overall, it is a very easy recipe to make. It's just a little bit time consuming, and I know it's definitely something that seems very intimidating, but once you try it, you'll see that it's actually really easy to do. So let me show you what we'll need. So to start off, we will need 2 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup vegan buttermilk. This is just made with a 3/4 cup plain unsweetened soy milk with 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, 3/4 cup warm but not hot water. Very important that it's not hot, otherwise it will kill your yeast. 1 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon melted vegan butter, cooled, you don't want it to be hot, 1 tablespoon blue agave, 1 teaspoon active dry yeast, and then 1/4 cup of cornmeal. Now this won't be used in the actual mix itself, but it will be used to put onto our baking sheets in order to keep it from sticking, and that's how you get that classic look to them. And then you're going to want to put parchment paper down onto your baking sheets. And then you will need stretch wrap in order to cover them when we're proofing, as well as a clean dry towel and a spatula. So let's get started. So we are going to start by adding in our water into our mixer. Now you can do this by hand, you don't have to use a mixer, but it's just a lot easier if you do. Then we're going to add in our agave, and then our yeast, and we are just going to leave this for about 5 minutes in order to get it to bloom. This is also a really good way to check and make sure that your yeast is active still. So we'll let this sit for now. So you can see now how the yeast is bloomed just means that your yeast is still active. So now that that is looking good, I'm going to go ahead and mix my salt in with my flour. It's just always good to mix in your dry ingredients just to help get them incorporated. So just mix that up really quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my butter and my buttermilk in with my yeast mixture first. Same kind of rule that I'm following, just adding in your wets and then your dries separately. So no need to really mix that up, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it up, and then I'm going to grab just a measuring cup to help incorporate it. You don't want to do it all at once, so just little by little. So we're going to go ahead and get that started now. So now that I have all of my flour in, I am going to go ahead and actually scrape the sides just to help prevent it from building up. And then I'm going to turn the speed higher. The reason you don't want to start off with the speed super high is because it will throw flour everywhere, and we obviously don't want that to happen. Alright, so you can see now that it's definitely a fairly sticky dough, but it has cleaned the sides of my bowl. So I let that go for about 2 minutes. I don't want to knead it too much because English muffins are notorious for all of those little bubbles and how airy they are. So I don't want to make it super dense. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my bread hook. And then I am going to cover this with my saran wrap and put a towel over it and leave it for about an hour till it doubles in size. So we will come back then. Alright, so that has been sitting for about an hour and a half now. It doubled in size, so I went ahead and used my spatula and scraped it out of the bowl. Now, with this dough, you need to be a lot more careful with it than you would a normal bread dough, because you don't want to get rid of the air that has kind of accumulated in it and created those little bubbles. So we're not going to knead it like we normally would with bread. So I'm going to go ahead and actually cut it in half and then cut it in fourths and divide it out into 12 even pieces. I just lightly floured my countertop. Don't really want to like cake it in flour. And then I went ahead and put the cornmeal evenly on my 2 baking sheets. You only want to use about 2/3 of it because we are going to sprinkle some of it on top as well. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and divide this up, and then I will show you guys how I form them into the English muffins. Again, super careful. You want to avoid smashing them down. Also, you want to work as quick as possible because you don't want to add a lot of flour onto it. So speedy hands means less sticking. So let's get to that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and shape them. So I just cut them into the 12 little pieces. Already did my fun practice one, of course. But essentially what we're going to do is put the seam on the bottom of it. Again, handle this super gently. We want to keep as much of that air in there as possible. So you don't have to worry about shaping it into a perfect little ball. You'll still have that seam on the bottom and maybe even a tiny bit on the side, which is okay. But that is how it's gonna look. And then you wanna go ahead and just finish your others. Now I have 2 baking sheets because I want to give them plenty of space in between because they do expand quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and finish all of these. Alright, so now that my first 6 are done, I'm gonna go ahead and add the cornmeal on top. So you can either do this where you grab it from the sides and sprinkle it. I'm just gonna do it out of here. So just sprinkle it generously on top of each of them. And then go ahead and just rub it around a little bit so that it disperses. And now there's one of 2 ways that you can store this, because we're going to let it rise for about 60 to 90 minutes, again, until they double in size. Either you can take saran wrap and spray it with oil and then put them over the top. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just stick it in my oven. Of course, the oven is off. And then I will go ahead and finish up those and then let them do their second rise. Alright guys, so I let those sit for about 90 minutes. So you can see they're nice and puffy now. So I have a pan heating on medium heat, not high heat, not low heat, just medium heat. So I'm going to very carefully pick it up because, again, you want to make sure to keep all of that nice air in it. Now, of course, they're not going to be perfect like store-bought ones. So don't freak out that they have, you know, little bubbles on the side or anything like that. They're going to taste amazing either way. So I'm going to go ahead and put these all into my pan, and then I am actually going to stick my baking sheet into the oven, because once you get these nice and browned a little bit, you are going to finish them in the oven. So let's stick this in there. And now I have my oven preheating to 350, so that'll be ready once it's time to put these in there. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to cook them until they have a nice, really just past golden brown on the bottom. So you can kind of tell that because the sides will start to get a little bit more matte. I don't think you'll be able to see that on video, but it's definitely something that I'll be able to tell. And then I will very, very, very gently flip them over, because again, we want to make sure that they maintain all those nice little air bubbles. So yeah, I'll show you guys once it's time to flip these. Alright, so I've gotten them all cooked. You can see how they have a really nice golden brown color on them. So once the other sides are about this color as well, I'll go ahead and pop those in the oven and let them finish for about 5 to 7 minutes just to help cook the insides. This was my oopsie one, so you can definitely see the difference between these two. So this was what happens if the air in the center kind of gets pressed out. I dropped it when I was flipping it, so that's sad. It'll still taste good, but it won't have those kind of nice air pockets in it that these guys will have. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this batch, and then I will do the next one and I will show you guys the finished product. Alright, so here we have the finished product, all nice and golden brown. I did take them out of the oven, pop them all onto one pan to cool down, and then I've been letting them cool. You can see that they flattened pretty significantly. Some of them start to get this little like waist around them, which just means that they're flattening even more. These ones you don't want to cut with a knife, you want to open them with a fork. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So you basically stick one fork in halfway through and pull apart. And you're going to do that all the way around. Just helps to really get those kind of nice air bubbles in the middle. Because again, it's not bread. So, and that is the finished product. And then I did already cut a couple, so have it here with some vegan butter and blueberry jam. My favorite blueberry jam, I get it from Costco actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this. And again, they're not perfect. They're homemade. They don't look store-bought, but they taste a hell of a lot better than the store-bought ones. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know what you want to see me make next, since I am quarantined at home for 10 more days. So let me know what you want to see, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!